Hello and welcome to the 20th episode of the M-Wire Movie Week in Review. Today we are going to be doing something a little different. This will be our very first ever DVD commentary episode. I'm your host, TFG Mike, and making his podcasting debut is Thorzine. Hello.
Hello.
Now, why do you have a nickname after a drug?
It's a long story. I was looking for something unique. I got tired of my username getting taken on every website I went to.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of went with Thorzine, and I had a delete speak to it. And since then, I've never had a problem with my username being taken. So. Well,
yeah, I would assume so. So, yeah.
I've only ever run into one other Thorzine, and it was on a DVD forum.
Yeah, the 20th episode was originally gonna be Masters of the Universe, but seeing as how I couldn't get it on DVD in time for this recording, we've had to move some stuff around. So we are going to be doing a commentary on Hackers today. It's going into a little information about the film before we start the commentary. Hackers is a 1995 American thriller film directed by Ian Softly and starring Angelina Jolie, Johnny Lee Miller, Matthew Lillard. The screenplay, written by Raphael Maru, is highly influenced by the hacker and cyberpunk subcultures. The film follows the exploits of a group of gifted high school hackers and their involvement in a covert extortion conspiracy. I gotta say that the casting for this was just great. You couldn't get any other people to play these roles. You know, this is actually one of, I think, if not the first role. It was the first major film to star future Academy Award winner Angelina Jolie, and also helped to launch the career of Matthew Lillard. Now that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
What'd you say?
Oh, I'm sorry, you were cutting out there. Said agree.
Oh, no. Sorry. It's Skype. We always blame Skype for cutouts. No, Hackers was actually the first major film to star future Academy Award winner Angelina Jolie, and also helped launch the career of Matthew Lillard, which the casting for this is just phenomenal. You couldn't get any other people to play these roles.
Yeah. It was definitely some good casting on their part.
Yes, very much so. As far as a little bit of production notes here, the school scenes are filmed in Stuyvesant High School, I think that's how it's pronounced, and the surrounding area in the Tribeca neighborhood of Manhattan. So that's kind of cool for a film that came out in 1995 to be able to be filmed actually in New York. It's very expensive to film there, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of filmmakers try to film up in Canada and pass it off as being an American city. It's kind of cool they actually did film in New York.
Yes. The film quotes the Hacker Manifesto, written by Lloyd Blankenship. Is that a relative? Also known as the Mentor, from Frack Magazine, issue 07, file 3 in 1986. In the film, the character reading the manifesto was holding a copy of 2600 magazine. So that's just a little bit of trivia for you guys. So I think the soundtrack, this film had a really cool soundtrack for the actual film. There was 2 volumes released after the original soundtrack was out, which is music inspired by the film. I'm not one to really go for additional soundtracks. If it's the actual, songs that are in the film, I do like that stuff, and I think this film does have an excellent soundtrack to it. But yeah, the other ones, nah. So, I guess. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Nothing now. No, I had something that just kind of popped out of my head.
That happens to me a lot sometimes. So we will.
You have to excuse me. I'm at the end of my work night here, so I'm kind of running out. No,
that's fine. So we will be right back with the commentary.
inhabit.
Dave?
Yeah, Mom?
What are you doing?
I'm taking over a TV network.
Finish up, honey, and get to sleep.
They're hackers.
Hackers penetrate and ravage private and publicly owned computer systems.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
It's not just something they do.
Sure this sweet machine's not going to waste?
Are you challenging me?
It's who they are.
I win, you wear a dress on our date.
And if I win, so do you.
They can crack any code. And get inside any system.
Hello?
Mr. Gill, according to our records, you're dead.
I'm what?
But this time,
Come here, look at this.
It's some kind of virus.
Unless $5 million is transferred to the following account, I will capsize 5 oil tankers.
they just hacked the wrong guy.
Game's over.
Whoever wrote this needs somebody to take the fall.
He's about to commit the perfect computer crime.
You've created a virus that's going to cause a worldwide disaster?
And they're about to take the blame.
A hacker planted the virus. But it's the perfect cover.
We're being framed.
Can we be allies? I don't play well with others.
Oh, wow, we are fried.
Okay, let's nail it.
Now,
You're not good enough to beat me. Yeah, maybe I'm not. But we are.
they're the only ones who can prevent a catastrophe.
I know how to stop this guy. They'll trace you like that. Are you nuts? Come at me!
Unlike any the world has ever seen.
Never send a boy to do a woman's job.
Hackers of the world unite.
Cops on the building. I need more time.
This is the end, my friend.
United Artists welcomes you to the new world. Hackers.
We are back, and as I said in the intro, we're going to be doing a commentary on the 1995 computer movie Hackers. It's funny, I remember this movie when it first came out to be... It was billed as the rival of the Sandra Bullock film The Net, and apparently, even though I like both of them, this one actually won out. Is the better film out of the two. Do you have your DVD player or whatever you're going to watch this on? Do you have it ready?
I'm all ready to go.
Okay, I have mine on the main menu, and I am hitting play right now.
All right, I'm with you.
Okay. And this is actually one of the few films that goes straight into the United Artists logo. Normally films nowadays will have like the blue PG-13 or R-rated or whatever thing, and then it'll go into the logo. I don't think I saw this in theaters. Did you?
No, I actually had not heard of this movie until, I don't want to say here recently, but I want to say it was early 2000s.
I was going to say, it couldn't have been too recent since you heard of it, because when I had mentioned doing a commentary about it, you said, "Oh, I love that film. That's one of my favorite films."
I stumbled across it on accident, and from the first time I watched it, I loved it. It's an awesome movie. I love the rewatchability. I think my favorite thing about it is the fact that they took so many things from stereotypical geek culture and made these geeks so cool and still incorporated a lot of the typical geek things. They make the Transformer references pretty accurate with some of the technical terms and stuff. The visualizations are a little off the wall for anybody who's actually into computers, but that's the Hollywood got to do to make it interesting, I guess.
That's one thing we're going to have to put to bed. I mean, these beginning scenes, I really like how they slow down the scenery behind it. Right now we're in the courtroom, but before this, as the film opened, it's SWAT teams, approaching a house, and they're going to bust this kid, Dave Murphy, who apparently did this massive hack. And I like the way that the film slowed everything down. It slowed the tone of the music down. It was almost like it was in slow motion. And then we, get into this courtroom scene. That's one thing we're going to have to put to bed right now. This is supposed to be a movie. You're supposed to be able to enjoy it. And I don't think you would have been able to enjoy it unless these intros or these opening credits with the digital computer and looking like you're traveling in, you wouldn't get the same feeling if you didn't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of, that's not really how it is, and that's more than that. We all know that's not how it is. But again, it's a movie. Enjoy it.
Yeah, it's hard to make a movie about a guy sitting in front of a computer typing interesting without the visualization.
Oh yeah, and the visuals on this are great. And right from the beginning, the music really, really gets you because it's just like soft in the background, and then it comes up as it goes along.
One of the things I find interesting about the movie is actually the main character was based on a real person.
Yeah.
Robert Morris.
Yeah.
Actually wrote a worm accidentally that crashed quite a few computers.
Yep. I like how this... No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I like how this film starts out, because a lot of films nowadays, when stuff like this happens, you'll have it like right in the middle of the action, and then they'll do a flashback. I like how this flashes forward. From 1988 to 1995.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy the slow progression. That's something they don't do too often in movies anymore. I have to grab you right off the rip and then explain the backstory later on.
Yeah.
Let's here we go with Dave turning 18, finally getting legal to be able to be on the computer.
Yep. Taking over a TV network. Eddie Vedder from accounting. That's messed up. Oh, boy. BLT drive, that doesn't exist.
It's funny, I love the social engineering aspect there. A lot of hacking wasn't always as high tech as people think it is.
Yeah.
It used to be make a phone call, lie about who you are, and get people to give over information that you needed.
Yeah. Yeah. So my BLT drive, and if I don't get this report in by Monday, Mr. Kawasaki is gonna carry on. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of cultural references at the time. And again with the visuals showing the different images through his mind as how he sees them is very cool. Get a job.
I don't remember what that show is, but that show that he actually catches the clip of, I remember seeing that on TV when I was younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's weird, some of the stuff you pick up in the background of movies.
Yeah, America something. I missed it on the tape. And this, obviously nowadays is a real testament to old school TV stations. I mean, I'm sure TV stations now still have probably the same system, but you would think that they would have upgraded between then and now, especially with DVR and all that other stuff, but I think they do still use videotapes in television stations for the overnight programming. Zero. No.
Catches himself there.
No. Crash Override. And of course, as soon as I see that, I caught the moniker as soon as I saw that, before it was pointed out later on.
The moniker?
Yeah, the Crash and Burn.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, the techno music that's in the film actually comes up, and you have this automated VHS machine going for a war for this one tape. And
I got to say, one of my favorite things about this scene is the splicing into like the different fighting scenes.
Oh yeah.
Kind of give a visualization of, hackers have a tendency of calling themselves ninjas. Two ninjas or two warriors doing battle.
Mm-hmm.
Cyberspace.
Yeah. You are terminated. Boom. Shit on me. I could never live in New York. Never.
No, I went there one time about a year or two ago for a indie movie premiere that I got invited to, and it was the worst experience of my life. It had to been all of 100 degrees out, traffic was at a dead standstill, no air conditioner in my car.
Yeah, just looking at the apartment that they have, I could never live in New York. Regardless, New York is just the size of the apartments, and I bet you that place costs like maybe $1,000 a month.
Easy in New York.
Yeah, I'm still a virgin. But it's just crazy. And I don't think that's a 2-bedroom place either. I think that's a 1-bedroom, because she was sleeping on the couch in a scene later.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think in a later scene they show her sleeping on the couch and he covers her up with a blanket or something. It just gives you an idea how expensive it is to live in New York.
Oh yeah. Apparently he is a genius, and apparently if he doesn't screw up, he can get into college and get a good education and all that stuff, which is great. They don't have a college for hackers or computer people inside of technical mumbo jumbo bull crap.
I think back when this was filmed, though, like the hacker or the cyberpunk subculture was kind of an enigma to the mainstream, and I think they did a decent job of portraying it in a positive manner.
Oh yeah, very much so. I mean, there's two completely different contrasts in this film. You have the hackers who, they're not okay. Yeah, they are kind of breaking the law, but they're not doing it to hurt anybody compared to what's his name, the Plague's character does, or Fisher Stevens' character does, the Plague, where he wants to capsize tankers and crap like that.
That's something that was kind of unique to the hacker culture, back in the early days. It was more about, I want to do this just to see if I can do it. It wasn't to cause harm to other people's computers.
Right, exactly.
We're kind of the negative influence came is when people started realizing they could monetize some of these exploits. You get like your botnets now where they zombie out so many machines and they can be used to send all that spam. Back in the early days it wasn't quite like that.
Yeah. Of course, we have Angelina Jolie with the lips and without the breasts. Well, before she got the implants. Before her royal days of being known as Brad Pitt Jr. or Mrs. Brad Pitt or whatever you want to call her. Yeah. I don't think I ever got caught into a trap like that.
I don't think I did ever so extreme. I can remember back in high school, junior high, moving around, being the new kid and falling for being the butt of plenty of jokes there.
Yeah. And of course, the big turnaround at the end of the film is they do find a pool on the roof. One of the rooftops. You know, and at first his visualization of, oh my god, I want to jump your bones, and now it's like, holy crap, I want to kill this bitch.
I gotta say, the payback that he gets on her is almost poetic.
Oh yeah.
She makes him stand out in the rain, so he brings the rain to her inside the building.
Oh yeah. What the hell's going on? Pool on the roof.
Yeah, the dancer skeletons throw me off every time.
Yeah.
the character kind of makes you wonder. I mean, as far as, like, I don't want to offend anybody with, like, the character's sexuality. I mean, you have two skeletons kind of quasi humping on the screen.
It's actually very funny. I don't know if they were dating during filming or during the making of the movie, but Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie did go out for a while, either right before or after this was released. And that's why I think they have such good chemistry in this film, is because I believe that they were dating. Oh boy, here comes the moron. Old Joey, Boy Meets World.
He does for having such a, I don't want to say character being portrayed as ignorant. It's such a, I guess, innocent role as far as hacking goes. He does a good job of playing that role so that the audience has someone for them to explain everything to, so they can follow along.
Yeah, he pretty much plays the needing exposition role. You know.
Yeah, that's the terminology I was looking for.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I guess.
Oh boy. Enter the live-action Shaggy Rogers. Before he... Zook's album. Vomit. Ugh. Can't get this in stores, man.
Those are the kind of mixes that I guess only a pirate could put together.
Yeah. If that actually does work.
Yeah, there are several little hacks like that I found that actually kind of cool to work, that were kind of simple. I never tried the phone thing, but there was some other things that some friends told me about. They said worked.
This game was a working demo or a working template for Wipeout. I believe the wiki information that I got is what it said.
I think that's what it was. I know the first time I watched it looked really familiar.
Yeah.
But I couldn't place it.
I'm trying to figure out what song, like, as he steps up and starts playing. I know one of the lyrics is Razor of Love, but I know that's not the actual title of the song, and I know it's actually on the soundtrack, but I'm going to have to get this I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Because I really like that song, and I'm not really that big into techno. This is another one of those scenes where it immerses you into his mindset and the way he views things as you're watching him play the game.
I like how, I guess the stereotype used to be true, but if you were a computer geek, you used to be into video games and be a big gamer too. But, you know, as computers have become more mainstream, there's not quite that generality anymore. It kind of looking back on it now, it seems kind of, I want to say like they lumped everything together.
Yeah.
Knowing how things were back then, you know, I was a geek and I was a gamer, you know.
Yeah. And see, I think that, you know, nowadays the video game industry, like the console industry and the PC part of it, they're pretty much at war. Because every person that I talk to that either has an Xbox or has a PS3 or PS2 or whatever, they prefer playing games on those rather than PC, whereas for some games, I prefer playing on the PC, like Need for Speed games. I prefer playing those on PC because I think that's what they were made for. But some people prefer using the PlayStation or Xbox or whatever you want to use, which is more than fine. But
I never quite got into PC gaming. I always used the PlayStation with Xbox, like Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
I actually have a top-loading Super Nintendo system in front of my TV here. I've got Super Mario All-Stars in it right now. The new test time. Here we go. She just has such a sour disposition when she comes up to him. Look. Is that a leak? She's like, I will burn you in hell. I actually like the guy that plays the teacher in this scene.
I've never really paid much attention to him.
The only reason why I have is because I've seen this film so much. I mean, just over time of having it. And then, of course, of all the things I missed my mind the most. Who are you? It's on my list. Now, you know a teacher would never let any student
climb over the desk.
Climb over the desk and grab something out of the teacher's hand. I miss my the most. Husband.
I love that joke because I can remember being in high school or junior high and cutting class and actually going and hanging out in other classes with friends so we could bullshit. Mm-hmm.
New York, no grass.
You can tell right off the rip he's not happy about having to move from
Seattle,
his supposed suburban setting to urban New York.
Yeah.
Or rural setting, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the suburbs of Seattle compared to pretty much downtown New York or Manhattan or whatever, you know, it's not exactly an easy change.
It's definitely culture shock.
Oh,
I can remember moving around, like when I was younger, just not even such extreme changes, and the amount of cultural differences was almost impossible to comprehend, I guess, at that age.
it's amazing. Those books actually exist, you know.
I was just going to say the same thing. I think it's cool that they took the time to actually get the references right and quote the right books.
Mm-hmm. And this just goes to show you how stupid the Joey character is, where he's just messing around in some computer. He finally figures out it's a bank. Oh, God.
He plays the typical, I guess, what you would, the modern day equivalent, I guess, would be script kiddie, just somebody looking to do something because they think it's cool, they don't understand,
right,
like the full functionality of everything. They just want the bragging rights.
Where your braids in your ass? Oh, it's funny that nowadays you couldn't use any of those passwords.
No, they're too short. They don't have any numerals in them.
But I mean, if you think about it, a 3-digit password, even like God, you know, that would be extreme. There are only a few 3-syllable or 3-letter words in the English language, English dictionary. So I mean, you'd think that would be fairly a good password, a good strong password, because not a lot of people are going to guess that.
I think where the problem is with the length is you get people that run like the brute force attacks.
Yeah.
And only having 3 digits is relatively simple for a program to get that password real quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Where they just systematically try every possible letter and number combination.
Yeah. I find it funny when the password was entered, it actually showed it on the screen. I mean, I understand that's part of the plot of the film, because eventually it's revealed that the Lorraine Bracco character, that's her password, but, you know, again, the visuals for this are really cool. I like how they pan out of the actual computer and show it on his monitor.
Yeah.
You and me, Lucy, oh my God. That's ridiculous. It's just sad. I was half expecting Teller to be one of these silent guards or something.
I gotta say, the first time I watched it, that really threw me off when I seen him sitting there.
Yeah, when you see Penn.
I did one of them double takes. Like, is that really him?
Yeah, I did too when I very first saw it back in the movies, but after just looking at it and hearing the voice, yeah, that's Penn.
Not the kind of movie I would associate with him as a performer.
But I mean, he plays a very minor role, so
yeah.
I mean, it's like it's almost like
just a little bit more than cameo, but not quite supporting character, I don't think.
Yeah, no, he's not a supporting. It's more of a cameo for him than anything else, because he's only in, I think, 3 scenes. Yeah, the one that just showed, and the one now, where Fisher Stevens, who plays Eugene Belford, the Plague, and then at the end, Penn is shown again. That looks cool.
What I wouldn't give to have a computer monitor system that big.
Oh, yeah. I've actually thought of, I have a 32-inch HD LCD TV. I've actually thought about hooking it up to my computer, but I don't have the correct graphics card to do that.
I tried earlier this summer. I had an old beige box. I wanted to put Boxy on there and run it to my big screen. Got a 52 or 57-inch big screen. Mm-hmm. And I, for the life of me, couldn't find the right adapter to get in it though.
Yeah. Oh God, that would scare anybody. Jesus Christ, green mud mask. Done. Oh, you're not supposed to do that. Now, normally if that happened, normally the computer there would be something wrong with it once you rebooted, and the file, even a partial file, I don't think you'd be able to open. But again, it's plot for the film, so.
Yeah, it's kind of essential to the story, so I guess you got to give them a little bit of liberty.
Yeah. We didn't really comment on the names earlier. Serial killer. Yeah, cereal as in Fruit Loops.
I love this scene where Nikon's first scene. Like the first time I watched it, he seemed like such an ominous character.
Yeah.
And then he just busts out with the kung fu.
Yeah. Your mom buy you a pewter for Christmas?
As you're watching the intro, you're like, oh man, he's hardcore. He's hardcore. He's going to be a hard ass.
Again?
Oh.
Oh boy. Here comes the giant purple elephant in the room for the entire film. Showdown. Hack the planet. Hack the planet. Jolt Cola. I could never drink that crap.
You know, I have never tried a Jolt Cola.
Don't it?
There used to be, I don't know how it was everywhere, but where I live, you had to be 18 to buy it. Mm-hmm. By the time I was old enough to buy it, it kind of fizzled out and not been the thing anymore.
Yeah.
the Actor Manifesto reference there.
Yeah. This is a payphone. Don't ask. I like that. Oh, the Wild Child. What is it with these filmmakers that did this film that want to show like people in the shower and shit?
Not just people, a bunch of kids in the shower. It always makes me a little uneasy when they show people that are supposed to be underage.
It's funny when I was looking at the cast, I never knew this, but the geek agent, the guy in the black hair there that's talking to Gil, you know who it is? That's Mark Anthony.
Is it really?
The singer.
He's always looked so familiar, but I was never able to put a name on his face.
I would have to, let me look it up really quick and make sure that it is actually the actual singer, but I did see in the cast, the casting on the wiki information that I got that it said it was Mark Anthony, but I'm not sure if it's actually the singer or not. Let's see, where's that cast list? It's spelled the same way, so hopefully... Okay. Oh, there it goes. Dr. Melfi, before she was Melfi.
He beat me to all the punches, man.
Huh?
So you keep beating me to the punch on the character name.
Oh, I'll shut up.
Oh, no. I'm one of those guys. She always gets me because I'm one of those guys that never associate characters with the actor's actual name. Like when she walks in, the first thing that pops in my mind is Dr. Melfi. Or this guy, he was the bad guy on Wild Wild West, I believe.
Yep, it is the singer that's married to Jennifer Lopez. Played Agent Ray. Yep. Da Vinci Virus. How unoriginal.
I don't think I noticed. I watched this a little bit earlier to kind of refresh myself.
Yeah.
And the scene where he goes to execute the virus, I never noticed that it was actually the Da Vinci face. It was either give the option to run or cancel, I believe. Or whatever the two options were.
Oh. And of course, these big corporate types are, giant pushovers and leave it all in the hands of the people that are actually behind the scheme.
The noise, by the way, was being at the vending machine.
Do what?
I don't know if the microphone picked it up or not, but I was at the vending machine. I was explaining what the noise was.
Are you still at work?
Yeah, I'm actually, I was sitting in my office.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
It explains my lack of internet connection right now.
Oh, boy.
I think I have the last place in the world that doesn't have internet access.
The Twin Towers. It's always nice to go back, and I mean, I understand, and I'm not going to really try to turn this into a whole 9/11 thing, but, it's always nice to see them in movies before 9/11 happened, I think. It's nice to they look like before they were gone.
Yeah. I mean, despite the tragedy that surrounds them, it's kind of a cool marker that can give you a time frame of when the movie was shot, or what time.
Yeah.
Time in history the movie came from.
Yeah. There's a really, really good shot of the Twin Towers in Armageddon at one point. Of course, that's a whole other episode.
Mind Manifesto.
It's commie bullshit. I love how even in the 90s, everything, and even nowadays, everything can be still blamed on communists.
I think that scene does a lot to kind of draw the distinction between the two generations. You have the older agents saying, "Oh, that's commie bullshit." Kind of represents the old guard, and then the younger guy, Mark Anthony Perry plays. I don't remember his name.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, that's cool." That's kind of the generational divide between the older generation and the newer generation.
Yeah.
Is the younger generation starting to come to age?
Elvis, what the hell? Oh boy.
I gotta say, I love this virtual reality setup he's got.
Yeah.
It's so dated for the time of what they thought things were going to be, and how it never quite panned out to be that way.
Mm-hmm. You can tell that he is very online type of person. He's like, ugh, hard copy.
I wonder now. I can remember the standard punishment for a computer crime way back when used to be you couldn't touch a computer for 10 years. You couldn't even touch a touch tone phone for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And the thinking behind that was, by the time 10 years passed, the information you had would be too outdated to do any damage. I wonder if they still hand that kind of punishment out. Because it's almost impossible not to use a touch tone phone anymore. Or even a computer.
Yeah. I'm not sure, really.
I know Kevin Mitnick, up until a couple years ago, wasn't allowed to use even a computer to type.
Ooh.
Like he wrote his Art of Deception and the Art of Intrusion,
right,
on an old-fashioned typewriter, I believe. After he had got out of prison.
Yeah,
don't quote me on that. I can't say for sure, but I know he had a hassle trying to write it because he couldn't use a computer.
Yeah, I think now it's probably more of you have to pay a fine and you have to go to jail for a number of years more than not being able to use those things. And of course, nowadays, jail it all depends on what prison you go to. But I mean, hell, prisons have libraries. Libraries have computers. So that's I don't know.
I guess given the state of, not to get political, like the Patriot Act and stuff, I guess punishment for computer crimes is a lot more harsh than it was back then too. Thinking about it now. Just the bluntness right there, just blow me.
Yeah.
I like it for, I mean, that simple statement, it's obscene, yeah, but it's kind of the blunt thing that most teenagers would say rather than, like, Hollywood always tries to come up with the snappy comeback.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Party time. And of course, throughout the entire time that Crash knows, or that Dade knows Kate, he doesn't know who her alter is as far as being acid burn, and of course it'll come out later in that scene, because we're at the party at her house now.
I think it's kind of cool, like, online, they're kind of rivals, not knowing each other in real life.
Yeah.
But then when they meet in real life, they kind of end up being kind of rivals, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not rivals, just kind of each other's antagonists.
Oh, yeah. It's a curse. How do you know my name? Look. Before the scene changes, you have, what's his name, Agent Ray at the party.
I never even noticed him in there.
Yeah. If you go, obviously, we can't do it as we're doing the commentary, but if you go back, the guy right before the scene changes with the giant black sunglasses, he kind of...
As you said that, I can remember seeing him there, but I never put it together as I was watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not an addict. I got in trouble with my computer. Can I get more coffee and cigarettes? Wanted to have my children.
I like looking at a lot of the old computer hardware in this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Some of the references they make kind of makes you appreciate what we have now. I got a 28.8 BPS modem.
Yes.
Now I can remember getting online. It thought 56K was fast. You know, back in the old days of Napster's first incarnation. Not that I would ever pirate any music or anything, or ever have, but I'd always list everybody's connection. You have 28.8, you got the 56K and the ISDN. I can remember drooling over the T1 and the T3 and the T3 connections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Transformers reference. Leopard Boy and the Decepticons. What's he doing here? And burn. It's actually kind of scary what he's doing, you know.
And given the time frame, it wasn't that unfeasible. This is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, not really what he's doing, but the information as far as the exposition of what he's doing is very scary. The fact that the FBI has information on 20 million Americans. And I'm sure now, obviously, nowadays, in 2009, that's grown considerably.
Right. Post 9/11, that number's kind of small, but yeah, looking back in 1995.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't know if I'd be that cool about walking into my room and finding somebody else playing on my laptop.
No. No, nobody touches my computer but me. It's like when I was having internet trouble a couple months ago. We need to log on to your computer. Can we just tell me where to go? Yeah, no. Alright, what the hell is risk architecture?
You know, I used to know, and it's fallen into that group of stuff that I've long since forgotten. In my younger days, I used to, everybody wanted to be a hacker.
Yeah.
When the internet first grew up, I made it a point to go out and learn all this stuff. But, now that I'm a little bit older, the risk doesn't justify doing a lot of the stuff that used to kind of intrigue me.
Yeah, very much so. Well, if anybody out there who is listening to this knows what it is, you can email me at tfg1podcast@gmail.com. Now this is where the comedy kicks in. People actually used to do this too.
I was going to say, my first laptop, because of this movie, I took apart and I actually did a nice custom paint job on.
Of course, now you don't really have to do that because you can pretty much buy them custom colored.
Yeah. But it was nice in the old days to have something stand out.
Oh yeah.
I can remember going to a Linux convention. Everybody had just the typical black or silver laptop, and I pulled mine out to take notes and kind of getting the head turns or as they're checking out the decals and everything on my laptop.
I watched a.
Which I'm.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I watched a thing. I don't remember where it was. It was probably on YouTube or something. I watched a thing about QuakeCon, the Quake convention, the Quake video game convention for PCs, where people actually take I think they only have to take their towers, but they may take their entire whole systems and fly them out to wherever the QuakeCon is. I think it's either in Texas or California. I forget every year. And it's like all these Alienware ones and a whole bunch of different custom, cased towers and everything else. And I thought that was always really cool.
Yeah. I can remember when online gaming was, not that it's not big now, but it was kind of like the rage.
Yeah.
There were computer places around here that would host LAN parties, and you'd walk in and everybody's got their pimped out towers. My favorite line coming up right here. I'll spank your ass. And the look there, and the plague in the background, the look that the plague gives him as he says that, just kind of cements it.
Yeah. Now, how the hell, again, it is a film, and I'm not trying to nitpick, but how the hell did they get onto this rooftop? I mean, really? Oh, isn't this where this is where they make him dead, I think. Oh, no, this is the...
gets him with the tickets and gets him arrested.
Yeah. Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? I like how Freak is just constantly looking around, it's almost like he's the lookout. Deceased. I'm not dead. This hideous corpus. Superhero-like even.
Yeah, Snagglepuss reference there.
Yep.
I guess for those younger kids that ain't gonna get the reference.
No.
Now going back to that last scene where they were hassling Agent Gill, that scene where he rips him on the personal ad, I can remember being younger and doing something like that to somebody who had pissed me off on the internet. I mean, not quite as intricate as they did. I just, place their information looking for some odd sexual favors in personal ads.
Yeah. Oh, God. Meh. I remember those two scenes. The scene where the one that's on now with her having the weird dream about him in the dress, and the one earlier of her coming in and basically just jumping his bones and then the police take. I remember I was very confused about those until the end where they say, have you been having weird dreams lately? He's receiving a package.
I like how one of the liberties they take, especially like in this scene,
Mm-hmm.
is this is obviously mid-90s. I might be mistaken, but I don't think Wi-Fi was available at that point.
Mm-mm.
If it was, it obviously wasn't as mainstream as it is now. How he can just open up the computer and he's receiving files and he's getting messages.
Well, the only way I could explain this away about Plague being on there as a video message, whether it's live or not, is if it was because Plague sent him the computer, if it was a video recorded message. But then again, how common were webcams back in 1995? So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Webcams, I don't think, hit until like late 98, early 99.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to look back at some of these movies, that were obviously, I don't want to say pre-internet revolution, but early internet days.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff that they just put in the movies, how it has kind of come to be, just things that they thought would be cool at that time, actually did come around to be invented or become commonplace.
Yeah.
Like Wi-Fi, video, webcams.
Right. Oh, excuse me. Oh. See, I saw Agent Ray at first. I didn't see the other guy at first. I just saw the woman that was sitting between them.
I never put together the other guy until they showed him hold the camera over his shoulder like that.
Yeah. How many kids have a balcony across their, in their bed? I mean, I'm watching you. Yeah. Deja vu.
I love this because that would have been my mom's exact reaction.
Waiting for already. Arrest me. I love this. This is so funny. Click, 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 click.
There's another thing that actually used to work. I don't know if it still does now, but if you just repeatedly click the hang-up mechanism on the phone that used to bring up the operator.
Mm-hmm. In that place where I put that thing that time, I don't want to know what that thing was. Well, obviously, we know what the place is, but I don't want to know it.
Given where he hit it kind of makes you wonder, but it kind of makes you uneasy to wonder at the same time.
Exactly.
like all these guys are surprised to see her walk out of, I'm assuming it was a men's room, but none of them seemed to be surprised as she was actually already there. It wasn't until she left.
Yeah. From the Nintendo generation. Oh, duh.
The thing that always gets me about that scene is his serial killer turns around to stalk out of the door. He just checks that door so hard. I don't think it was intentional.
Yeah.
Or the door frame, I should say. It's always those little things like that I catch in movies that always stand out to me after I watch them.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you're watching a comedy and you can tell they're saying something funny and they're trying not to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit more prevalent on TV than it is in Hollywood movies. But
yeah. And I like that when the mom comes in, you guys, listen, help yourself to whatever you want in the fridge, cereal has. And it's just like, because at first you don't, even though they explained his name in the beginning that it's cereal as in Fruit Loops, you still think, holy crap, he's a serial killer. He's going to start shooting people. He's not.
I would like to have seen the scene where he has to introduce himself to Dave's mom.
Yeah, exactly.
He calls him serial, so he had to have said, "Hi, I'm serial killer."
Yeah, exactly.
Dave would have had to have said to his mom, "Hi, this is my friend, serial killer." That scene right there is kind of scary to me because the logic behind it is so solid.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can alter any kind of. I mean, just look at what Dade's altered. He altered the class schedule.
Yeah.
He altered the test time for the sprinklers. I mean, you can alter anything if you know where to go. But yeah, that's like I said in the previous scene when it was Plague and what's her name, Dr. Melfi there.
With the FBI database.
Yeah, and I say, for those people who are listening to this or who will be listening to this once we put it online, I say Dr. Melfi because at this point in time in the film, I don't remember what the hell her damn character name is. Either Lorraine Bracco, who is her actual name, or Dr. Melfi was the Tony Soprano's psychologist in The Sopranos.
Ever since I've watched The Sopranos, no matter what I see her in, she's always Dr. Melfi to me.
Yeah.
Even I think she was in a couple episodes of Oz.
See, I never got into Oz, but yeah.
Not really my thing, but it's one of those deals where I've watched everything that was already on demand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking for something to pass the night.
Yeah. Yeah, this has to be the slowest scene in the entire film. Just the whole waiting game. I like how he makes his entrance here, too. on a skateboard on the side of a limo. He doesn't even...
I gotta say, as far as the movie goes, this is the one scene that doesn't work for me at all.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. I mean, I understand they had to have it because of, Dade saving his mom, but they could have done an entirely different scene.
I mean, I get that they had to make it dramatic, that he's kind of betraying his friends.
Yeah.
But it seems a little too drawn out and a little too over dramatic for what it is.
Mm-hmm. And of course, he doesn't actually tell them until 14 hours later after they've all tried to crack the code. But, you really can't fault him because he did try and they just hang on a second. Tag, you're in.
Of course, Dade sits down to work his magic.
Yes.
Back to the Dade vision.
Yep. I actually like the fast forward because it goes through. It's only going through 5 or 6 or 7 hours, but it makes it seem like they've spent days and days on this when it's only been about, I would say, a maximum of 8.5, 9 hours.
But it does a good job of kind of portraying to the audience the amount of time it actually takes to do something like that without actually having to make them sit through it.
Yeah, true.
Rather than just taking the easy Hollywood out, always sits down, everything just kind of clicks. Oh yeah, here's what you were looking for.
Yeah, exactly. For some odd reason, I don't know if it's the fact that I just got off of a Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman marathon DVD watch earlier this week, or what. But the speed typing, when they fast forwarded the typing, always reminds me of how Dean Cain's portrayal of Clark would always speed type in that show.
Now, was that purely coincidence that you made the Superman reference there and they're using the Superman virus, or?
Wow, I didn't even really realize that it was.
Yeah, what was it, Superman 2, where it stole just a fraction of a penny from each?
Oh, it's Superman 3 that happened.
The 3.
Yeah.
I wasn't big into the Superman movies.
That's blasphemy. But, whatever. No, I didn't even really realize that. I didn't even really associate the Superman 3 fractions of a penny thing to this film. I always associate that with, obviously, Office Space, because they directly take it from Superman 3.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, technically, that is what it is. And then, once they find out who he really was, Nikon's like, "Oh my God, I thought you was black, man." And then Kate, of course, yells at him, "Oh great, there's college," and now they're going through the whole thing. "Oh, well, if you had my help, you can do it in 5 minutes." And never sent a boy to do a woman's job. I never understood the let's go shopping thing until I actually sat back and watched the scene now, where they're actually going dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Going dumpster diving, and then was it Nikon and Serial? They pass themselves off as telephone repairmen or something.
I like to given the time frame of this movie that they actually did the dumpster diving.
Mm-hmm.
At that point in time for me, when I would think about hacking or what hacking was, I wouldn't think of just going through people's garbage. Which I know dumpster diving is a big thing in the hacker community. I know even at one of the DEF CONs they had a dumpster diving contest or something, I believe, a few years ago.
Wow. A nice missile, my subway defense system. Yeah. I know that subways are dangerous, but are they really that dangerous where you need a mini rocket launcher?
I think a gun would actually be safer.
Yeah. Find it. So funny.
I love the placement of the tool belt in that scene.
Yeah.
As he gets out and just kind of flops.
Yeah.
Not to get too sexual, but I mean it.
You see the crack of his ass because his pants are sagging off his ass. And here you go, Nikon with his photographic memory thing, looking at all the keyboards.
Now, what I don't get is they've done a workup on Dade and all his friends, and the plague walks right by him, or skateboards right by him.
Yeah.
And doesn't quite place him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think that could be just like a double take or something. And it's like, I don't know, I know that kid, or like you said, he doesn't place him, but I don't know. Yeah, it does say launch or cancel.
If you look, it's the eyes on the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but the Da Vinci...
Yeah, the Da Vinci virus.
Man drawing. The old videotapes.
As they snoop onto us. Yeah, that's actually old recording tape, too. Wow, that was a visual. Oh, boy.
No, going back to the real tape there, I can remember back in junior high taking computer classes. And this was pre-Windows. I mean, we learned computers in DOS.
Right, yeah.
And having the old reel tapes to store information on.
Thank God I'm not a part of that era. I mean, I was born in the 80s, so, I grew up with all that stuff, but yeah, I'm very glad that Macintosh and Windows and all that happy stuff came along without having to deal with DOS.
I don't think I had my first Windows experience until Oh, God, I had to be in 8th grade, 9th grade. I moved from, I had just taken computer class here in Ohio, and I moved down to Florida, and I took a graphic arts class, and they had Windows on the one computer that we had in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And just being blown away by not having to type all the old DOS commands.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was the first time I seen a mouse.
A what?
And a mouse and a CD drive.
Oh, yeah.
It was back then. When I took the class.
Of course, may the Force be with you, man. The old Star Wars reference. You'd actually almost have to count films that don't have Star Wars references more than you would than the ones that do have Star Wars references. Because almost every film that I know of has at least one Star Wars reference.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even a Star Wars fan, and I still dig all the Star Wars references in movies. Yeah. Even the scene when they revealed Nikon, he come out with the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep, the cloak.
The cloak on.
Yep.
I've always wondered who this band was.
I'm not sure.
They sound a lot like Rage Against the Machine, but I know it's not them. I don't think it's them.
It might be.
Of course, I'm sure now it'll turn out that it's actually them, and I'll get all these responses on Twitter or something calling me an idiot.
I don't know. Had they already, because I've never been a really big Rage Against the Machine fan, but
I wasn't until they actually were already broken up by the time I started getting into Rage. I don't know if they were around back then or not.
Well, I know they were probably breaking out back then, but what I was asking was if they were actually famous by the time this came out. I'm not really sure. It's a gun. I definitely don't like this. Gum beast? It might be, oh no, that's during the party setting. I was going to say it might have been Protection by Massive Attack, but that was way earlier in the film when they were at the party.
Another stereotypical geek nod there with the Star Trek shirt.
Yep. And we can only guess as to which TV network it was. It's probably Fox. Oh, the old make every traffic light green trick or red trick.
I could have swore the first time I watched this that he said checkmate as he was walking off. I guess I was wrong.
Voodoo. Green lights all the way. Boom.
They're the heroes, of course, of the movie, but I like the blatant disregard for public safety when they do that.
Yep.
You know, how many people got injured or their property damaged.
Yep. Poor Jill. I don't understand why he couldn't have seen through the fact that Eugene is setting them up. Other than the fact that he probably didn't want to see through it.
Well, this is the time when I guess computers were still foreign to a lot of people too. So when you had a tech, you just kind of took him at his word.
Yep.
Yeah, now it's kind of standard, but then I guess anybody in law enforcement at least has a basic understanding of computers.
Mm-hmm.
And a basic knowledge of what people are capable of doing.
Yeah. I like seeing all the boot ups here. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Of course, all these sheep in this office here. Of course, that line I just said, all the sheep, that'll come into play a little bit later, I think.
I love all the cute little visualizations for these viruses and stuff they're planting.
Mm-hmm. Die, dickweed. Roll your boat gently down the stream. I wonder how much money they had to pay to get the rights for just to even mention that. Unless it's public domain.
I don't know, they went through that thing a couple years ago where people were exerting copyright on like the Happy Birthday song and all that.
Mm-hmm. Get the hell out the way. I always wanted that keyboard. That was cool. The one Plague had.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
I like this kind of montage as they're showing all these hackers from around the world.
Yeah.
It does a good job of portraying that sense of unity, you know, in a subculture, a sub-community.
Oh, yeah. The circular scene showing all of them kind of at three different angles reminds me of the end credits of season 1 of the X-Men cartoon, where it's a 3D profile of the characters.
Yeah. Now, of course, now that they got their reinforcements, it's time to get down to business.
Mm-hmm. Colonel who? And instead of all blue now, it's all red. For the majority.
Yeah, that subtle little color change there to kind of portray the change in mood.
Yep.
Instead of being all blue and cool and calm, it's red and agitated.
Yep. You know those little things going back and forth are commands going into the computer. Those little flashes of like blue.
Yeah. Kind of meant to give them like a visualization of like the current running through the wires and stuff. I like this here, the big reveal.
Yeah.
I think they're closing in on them.
Yep.
And of course they get there and it's a bunch of phones kind of linked together.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the early man's proxy server.
Yep.
But really, of course, if they wanted to stop the attack right then and there, they could have just hung the phones up.
Yeah, true. But, you know. Smart.
Would have made for kind of a crappy ending to a movie, though.
Yeah.
I always wondered if a Gibson was a real computer, or if that was just kind of like a nod to because it obviously was kind of like a cyberpunk oriented movie, and with William Gibson being a big author in the cyberpunk.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Like genre of books.
Could be, I don't know. Arf, arf. Mess with the best, die like the rest. Oh, pissant. Boom. I like how they always show the flash of white as you have been terminated or disconnected or whatever.
Yeah, kind of like the mushroom cloud effect.
Mm-hmm. Crap.
Not that I've ever been arrested before or anything, but I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't notice him throwing something in the garbage.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, him not being there was part of kind of essential to the payoff in the movie.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder what he was doing the whole time that everybody else was doing their part in trying to hack Gibson there.
Oh, Serial? He was getting he was getting the film stuff ready. He was helping Razor and Blade because it shows it after this because it into.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. You are floating. And I'm gonna flush your ass. You're right. It's according to IMDb, the computer they break into is a fictional mainframe computer called the Gibson, a homage to cyberpunk author William Gibson. So it's not real.
I always wondered because the movie takes place a little bit before I guess my time when I got acquainted with the internet. Mm-hmm. I always wondered if the Gibson was an actual supercomputer model.
Penn Jillette's character is named Hal in the credits, most likely a reference to the HAL 9000 computer system from the sci-fi movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. That's funny. Hold on, boys and girls.
Whoever wrote this movie was obviously not just a Hollywood writer, but they had to have had some geek in them.
I think so. Yo. Kind of feel like God. And I like the transition.
Yeah, kind of pulls out away from the planet.
Echo, yeah. Dear Jane. That is the weirdest bed I've ever seen in my entire life. The one that she was laying in.
Oh, Dr. Melfi there?
Yeah. He almost gets away, too. Nice disguise.
It is. You know, the first time I watched it, I almost didn't realize who that was until they put the handcuffs on him. I'll never fly this airline again.
Yeah.
Because the airline had anything to do with it.
I'm sorry, but that is one of the ugliest dresses I have ever seen. Looks more like a leather jumpsuit than it does an actual dress. Crash and burn. And of course they kiss, and eventually the camera will pan up or down. Yeah.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to be him right now.
Exactly. Oops. So I believe this actually, they're still showing the pool scene a little bit. I don't think there's any other additional scenes after this.
No, I believe it goes to blank credits here shortly.
The credits, so yeah, we will. Overall, a really good film for what it is, I think. There's a few faults in it, but it isn't like it's not like one of these god-awful teen dramas that you see nowadays. And of course, it is revealed, as I said before, it is a pool on the roof.
I never really got that reference until you brought it up. At their initial encounter being a joke about a pool on the roof, and then they end up in a pool on the roof.
Yeah. Yep. So the credits are rolling. We are stopping the commentary now. Okay. Turn that off. Turn the TV off. Alright, so I think we're going to go to a break, and we're going to come back with some final thoughts, and then the closing. We'll be right back. Thanksgiving is just 1 week away, and Christmas is right around the corner. Are you looking for a gift for family members and friends that is slightly not the average gift? Well, look no further. I am TFG1 Mike from the Geekcast Radio Network, and besides podcasting, I am also a published author of poetry. I have 3 books of poetry published, and 1 for sale right now. It is The Twists of Faith and Fate. This is an 85-page softcover book. It comes signed and only costs $20 per copy. I have 20 or more copies available. For more details, email me at tfg1podcast@gmail.com.
There once was a boy, an albino I'm told, who possessed the power of pen-pusher gold. He had many stories, all short and exciting, but nobody knew, and so he began writing. He sat there all summer and skillfully sought to perfectly ponder and polish each plot. The settings were set, all the characters cast, his fingers were flying and flailing so fast, and soon the young man with the snowy complexion quickly concocted the caffeine collection. He smiled, satisfied with his clever creation. Oh, the things that did pour from his imagination! Stories of pirates and future police, of devils and bullies, and a twist press release. Fantasy, mystery, both are included. Comedy, action, no genre excluded. You say to yourself, it's too good to be true, but author Steve Saylor would not lie to you. An audiobook so you don't have to read. And hey, $15 is all that you need.
From the author of the podcast novel Black Shadow, Steve Saylor presents The Caffeine Collection, a dynamic audiobook collection of short stories presented by ringtonefeeder.com and stevesaylor.net. Steve presents a genre mashup of multiple stories for your ears.
I have to be on caffeine to write all this.
Steve Saylor presents The Caffeine Collection, on sale October 28th, 2009.
So mark this date down so you will not forget. For more information, stevesaylor.net.
We are back, and just before we go into some final thoughts here, I'm looking at these trivia aspects on IMDb. One of them, it says... The part of Kate Acidburn Libby was originally offered to Katherine Heigl, but due to prior commitments to Under Siege 2 Dark Territory, she had to turn it down. The director also auditioned Hilary Swank, Heather Graham, and Liv Tyler for the role, which ultimately went to Angelina Jolie. As I said in the beginning, in the intro to this episode, before we actually started the commentary, I can't see any of those women in that role.
I like Liv Tyler is about the only one that would grab my attention, but I don't think she could have carried that role.
No, not at all.
I think it would have changed the feel of the whole movie. I don't think for the better.
Yeah, no. It also says here Edward Norton auditioned for a role. It doesn't say which role. I'm sure he probably auditioned for, I would say, Johnny Lee Miller's role, actually. Most likely. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Like I could see him as serial killer, but I still like the casting that they got for the movie. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Oh yeah. The pool on the roof prank is actually based on an old Stuyvesant High School prank of the 6th floor pool. The original Stoy building on East 15th Street in Manhattan had only 5 floors, and freshmen were sent to look for a pool upstairs. The building had no pool. There was a literary publication at Stuyvesant referencing the prank called 6th Floor Pool. The school moved to a new building featured in the movie shortly before filming began. Coincidentally, this building is across the street from Ground Zero, the former site of the World Trade Center. It was amazingly almost completely unharmed by the blasts. The school was as the base of operations for the rescue efforts. The were moved for one term to Brooklyn Technical High School. The 3 specialized math, science, and high schools in NYC requiring an examination for admittance are Stuyvesant Bronx High School of Science and Brooklyn Tech in order of difficulty of admittance. Very strange. So what are your final thoughts on this film?
Overall, I like it. It's in the top of the list of my favorite hacker movies, right below War Games. I don't know if The Matrix would be considered a hacker movie, but I like this more than The Matrix. I think we'll place it higher on my list than that.
Yeah, and plus Matrix is more of like religious beliefs than it is actually a computer. I mean, yeah, I know you get plugged in and everything else, but
yeah,
it's more religion based or belief based than actual hacking. And as I said before in the intro to this episode, when this came out, The Net with Sandra Bullock and I think Dennis Miller's in that with her. It also came out. It was another hacker movie, which I think that while that one's a fairly good Sandra Bullock film, I think out of the 2 hackers, one in popularity and is more of I guess you could call it a cult classic nowadays.
Yeah, it's definitely got a subculture following.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, very much so.
Whereas The Net kind of gets written off as just another Hollywood movie. At least that's kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us here on Movie Week in Review. There are several ways to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show. The first is you can visit www.geekcastradio.com and find all the other podcasts there. The second is that you can stop by PredaconEmpire.com/Nexus. Those are our forums. The third is you can leave the show feedback on iTunes. Yes, please do this. We always crave feedback. The fourth is you can visit www.earth-2.net, another great geek culture website. They have forums over there. You can find our threads for the shows in the self-promotion section. The email address is gcrnmwire@gmail.com. We now have a voicemail line. Call us and leave us your thoughts on each episode. Be sure to say what show you're leaving a message for and your name. The number is 502-526-5821. You can follow us on Twitter. The show name there is GCRNMwire. Mine is TFG1Mike. And what is your Twitter?
It's at Thorazine, T80R4Z1M3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of M-Wire, and wish you'll join us next time. We'll be reviewing in the Tooncast M-Wire crossover, Space Jam. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Thorazine,
saying the immortal words of Elizabeth Shue, don't fuck with the babysitter, and thank you for listening. Until next time.